this is Hannah Cruz at the Church Musician's Assistant. Welcome to this video about 3 big ways to nail creative hymn playing. I'm going to give 3 steps you can take when encountering any hymn that will help you facilitate a more powerful musical experience for your congregation. Number 1, before you play anything, get to know the context of the hymn you're working with, both the music and the text. Don't know where to start? Look up the hymn in multiple hymnals, not just the hymnal you own at church, and see what information is listed there on the page. Sometimes there will be a blurb about the context of the hymn, and there will always be the time period it was written, the location, and the composer's name. You can also read hymnal companions. That's kind of a lot of work, but it's worth it. Why do all this? Especially if the hymn is unfamiliar to you or your congregation, you'll want to understand what people does this song belong to, and what is the significance of this song to its people. Answers to these questions can help us with mechanical decisions like tempo, instrumentation, and style. It will also help us honor and worship with the whole body of Christ, not just our local congregation. Number 2, before playing any music, contemplate the text and decide what your pastoral goal for this hymn singing experience is going to be. Sometimes hymns are designed to teach certain ideas. Drawing attention to particular words may be important. However, you don't always have to be literal, especially with short or simplistic texts. Sometimes instead you want to draw attention to the worshipful mood of the song rather than particular words. What you bring attention to is partly influenced by the purpose of the song, which you would have found out when researching its context. So ask yourself, is this hymn intended to teach more theology and dogma, or is it intended to orient the body and the mind towards contemplation of God? Remember with this that you have a lot of pastoral power when leading hymns. How you lead and play the hymns affects how congregants interpret their musical experiences and the whole worship service for that matter. Changes you make to the written music have significant meaning, so make sure you've thought about what you're doing deeply and have pastoral reasons for making the changes you make. Number 3, after examining the text thoroughly, brainstorm about hymn accompanying techniques that could accomplish your pastoral goal, which you should have already set. Now, this video is not about accompanimental techniques, although we'll probably make another video on that topic in the future. If you have a lot of resources at your disposal, like lots of instruments and performers, you will have a lot of hymn leading options. But let's just say you have organ, just for the purposes of this video. Here are just a few ideas you could experiment with. You could increase and decrease the volume, use that swell pedal, or even drop out and consider just silent and let the congregation sing. You can experiment with accompanimental textures, such as full chords, or busy scalar patterns, sparse parts, polyphonic lines, etc. Experiment with registrations. How can you utilize all the manuals of your organ and its timbres? You can mess around with harmonies, create alternate melodies like descants. Map out whatever you decide, map it out either loosely or rigidly, however you prefer. How do you use your accompanimental techniques to accomplish your pastoral goal for the hymn? If you're like me, you might get overexcited about all the possibilities. But remember to communicate only 1 or 2 ideas with your hymn playing. Otherwise, you might overwhelm, distract, or confuse the congregation. So we've talked about 3 big ways to nail your creative hymn playing. Those are get to know the hymn's context so that you can honor it and its people. Examine the text so you can formulate a pastoral goal for your congregation. And map out how you will use accompanimental techniques to facilitate a worshipful experience for your congregation. I believe that our purpose as church musicians, as hymn player, is to facilitate enriching transcendent experiences for our churches so that they might ultimately know God more fully after worship is over and they go out into the world. I hope this video has inspired you to go brainstorm about how you will play the hymns this coming Sunday. This can be so much fun and so rewarding. So best of luck and have a blessed day.